got it.
He does tend to be like, oh, there's an announcement going on.
Okay, so the first step is you'll want to find, let's see, you'll want 9 that are roughly about the same width, right? So 9 pieces. And they don't have to be like perfectly the same, but like the closer they are, the better. And then there's a way of kind of setting these out that is pretty specific. So I'm not sure why this is the way that people have done this for a long time, but you set 3 there, oops, 3 here, like 3 across, and then it's actually really hard to do from right here.
We can move the bars.
I got it. I'm just gonna, I'm just like re-angling. Okay. And then we'll do through here. And I think I'm gonna add this towards, well, maybe we'll do it towards the front. That's okay. So, so you're kind of going in order as you go down, right? So you start here, 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 and then you go down, and vice versa. So step 1 is actually winding the thread around a stick. And you'll want to do a little knot. So if you can see, I've got a knot right here. And then you'll open, this is called tassel, so you open up your tassel and stick this guy in here. And you want to do it like, I'm going about halfway through, if you can see here. And this is really the broom, right? This is what you're going to have available. And then this is going to be for your handle. So actually, as I'm looking at this, come on in, you're welcome. Hi. There's a spot maybe over in here. So because this tassel is longer, I'm just kind of moving it over a little bit more so I have a little room. So basically, this is all broom. So you want to make sure you have plenty of broom and then plenty of room for the handle. And you'll hold it with your feet, and tension is everything. So the important thing is to have your fingers right here. And I'm turning it towards me. You may find that turning it away from you feels better. And you're just gonna go around. Okay, so this is kind of trapped in here. Let me do this, I did it incorrectly. So you wanna make sure you start on the outside so that this is on the inside. Pretty important. And then you're just gonna kind of go over it, so you'll cross over it a little bit. And go down. How many times you go around will be replicated on each one. So since I'm using 9 of these, I think I'm gonna go for 7 because 7 feels kind of cool. Sometimes I do 6, sometimes 8, but you don't want to really do like 10, right? So the amount that you do kind of depends on what you're feeling. Okay. So this is like the first one. The next step is to start adding in. So as you add in, you want to make sure that, see how I have this all the way up here? That's going to not work because that's going to affect my handle. So I'm going to pull it down like this. So I'm looking at how this is aligned as opposed to how this is aligned. Does that make sense to everyone? And you want to put pressure with your thumbs here so that you can keep it in place. And then you'll feel the tension and you turn. So I'm kind of pulling as I go. This part is actually the most challenging part, is just like trying to make sure you don't lose your design as you go. And I do sometimes. So if you look at this, you can see more of the design on the front. When you look at the back, some of it's kind of lost a little bit. So, you know, I tend to just focus on one side. And yours might end up with like this a little bit, and that's okay. It just takes a lot of time and practice with the tension. I made those really fast for a class, so, you know.
Where's your beginning knot?
The beginning knot is just in the middle, so you put it in the middle. You make a knot, put it in the middle, and squeeze it.
But it wasn't really a knot. Like it was.
It was just that this was knotted instead of
Like around itself.
Yeah, around itself.
Oh, okay.
And I can show you when you start. So, and that's probably the hardest part, is starting and then the tension, like I said. So I'm lifting up a little bit as I go to release more. pulling with the tension.
Trying to keep count.
Yeah, trying to keep a count. And then you'll keep adding. So I'm adding in, actually I'm going to go a little further.
I don't want it in my face. No, I don't want it in my face. That's not safe.
And you're going in the handle direction.
Yeah, and you can go the opposite direction if you want. Like, it's really like what feels comfortable for you. So like, I have a friend that does it the opposite way, right? Because she'll actually do hers this direction for whatever reason. But this is the direction that is that what you're asking? I'm sorry. Did you say?
I don't think so.
I thought you meant the direction I was twisting.
You know, your strings are going up to the handle direction.
Yeah. Sorry,
coming down.
I misunderstood.
Set it down.
No worries. Just as long as I answered your question. Yeah, so you're building the handle. Excuse me, sorry. All right, let's see. So I have 7. And you just keep adding.
Well, she has to show how first. Oh, that's right.
If you did, it wouldn't be sturdy. I mean, you could try something like that, but I think it would slip. You know, like are you talking about just doing it all together?
Like how you're lining them up where this handle part meets the broom. And that's the line that you mentioned look at. But then you'll have to trim it.
Yeah, we do trim it.
So by just lining up
Because we're gonna make a broom.
You could try, but I usually tend to pay attention over here just to make sure I have enough. But I have some stuff to trim it with too. It's not hard to do. But if you want more of like a natural look, you're thinking, yeah, you could try it. I mean, try to line yours up differently. Yeah, totally. I mean, I think like the awesome thing about crafts is there's so many ways to approach it. So if you're watching this and you're like, that's cool, I kind of want to try it a little differently. You know, I mean, there's totally room for that, right? But I am going to trim mine, just so if anyone's wondering, like this will look different in the end when I trim it. So, but she was asking if like you could try to have it kind of matched up in a way you would like to begin with, so it's a little more natural looking on the end. And that's totally an approach that you could have for sure. So, are there any other questions? Just feel free to like shoot questions.
Are there any other patterns for the handle?
There's 1,000 patterns. Yeah. Did you look at Carol's pass? Look at the book.
Yeah, that would be great.
This is just like beginner, how to get the tension, because those other ones are really hard if you don't have your tension down.
Set it down. It's not safe. They're gonna ask us.
Not that they're not approachable, but you know, I think like,
Just a good one to start with.
yeah. And maybe there's somebody who has a way of teaching it that's like, I got this part down, and like everybody leaves feeling confident, you know. But I find for me this was what I learned first. And actually, just to give a shout out to my friend, I have this awesome friend Lex who lives out in the Pacific Northwest now. Lived in Missouri at one point, and
Pistons, look.
she
A piston's on
she comes from Romani descent, and didn't necessarily learn it from family, but one of her interests in it was like her connection to her culture, and also she identifies as pretty witchy. So anyone who's in Asheville, she sells them at stores there. So if you see something of a similar pattern, those are probably Lex's.
Sorry, what? I missed the very beginning.
Oh, my friend Lex.
Uh-huh.
So she is who I learned this from.
Uh-huh.
And she lives in the Pacific Northwest, and then has brooms available. I think at some stores in Asheville. I don't remember which ones, but I want to say it might be 10,000 Villages. Is there 10,000 villages there?
Yeah, there probably is.
Okay.
in
Yeah.
Nashville. Oops, I'm sorry.
But she is
Everybody's trying to shove it.
she's really taken this to the next level. Okay, so so you just keep adding, and we're about to the end.
I want to do it.
We'll all get to do it. It's gonna be
That's
awesome.
why we're here, baby.
And as you notice, I'm kind of, does everybody see how I'm kind of pulling up a little bit?
Yeah.
That really kind of helps with the tension too. And you know, the awesome thing about crafts too is if you're like, it's not perfect, that's okay, right? It just takes a lot of practice, and you know, like I said, even sometimes when I'm doing these demos, I don't line it up perfectly. You know, it just depends, because it does take concentration. And definitely the key is just to squeeze it while you're going to try to get it aligned. Somebody hit that bug off my back. Got it. Okay. Very aware of fire ants.
Oh yes.
Like, good. Yeah.
So the string is over top of each other. It's all next to each other.
Yeah.
in line.
So it's all aligned. So the only place I went over it was a little bit in the beginning. I don't always do that, but just to be extra sure that it's not going to come out, you know. All right. So we're nearing on the last one. Yeah, and I'm mentioning Lex too, just because I think it's important to give, like, you know, like who we learned it from, and like speak them into the circle a little bit, and you know, so much gratitude to her for teaching me. So yeah, and I've since like sent her broom corn and stuff that she uses in her brooms, so it's like been a really sweet trade. All right, so now that I'm at the end, right, I've done this much of it.
Lovely.
I'm gonna go and decide like how long I want my handle to be. There is a way to add in colors, like if you want to add a little more color and that kind of thing, that's totally possible to do. And I would say like at this stage, I probably wouldn't do it until the handle part, but you know what? You're welcome to experiment. So I'm just gonna do one color for the sake of getting everybody making brooms. So we're gonna just kind of fast. Generally though, don't just be like, okay, I'm just gonna wind it, right? Because you won't get the tension. And having tension the whole time is what keeps this thing together. So try to really keep the tension. Thank you. I'm sorry, keep a...
No, you're fine. It's fine. It's good I'm sleepy at times. I have to stay very awake over
Yeah, and we can also, since we have a big group, maybe take turns doing it so that we're not overwhelming each other. Because the process itself is fairly fast. Alright, I'm trying to speed this up. Okay, so you just keep going. I am going to end this early. Like, I would probably go all the way down here. But I also don't want to bore anybody. So let me show you how we finish this off.
Oh, you do the same technique with the other girl. But
Yeah, you like pull it through.
Yeah, I was wondering.
And there are options. I think I'm gonna pull it that way. No. Yeah. Okay. So it's good to use a different color because then you can see it. And this is just I'm gonna cut it off and I'm gonna pull it through. That way the thread is the whole way through. So just going around. And as far as technique, whatever works for you, right? So like, some people have really different techniques than others. Some people want to sit in a chair, other people might be okay on the ground. You know, experiment with what feels good to you personally. Okay, so I'm at the end, right? So how you finish this off, if you have a lot of string, that's stuff that you could add stuff to later pretty easily. So it's kind of nice if you have a good long string. And I'm going to put it through here, through the loop. And this is not tied, right? Because you're just going to pull it through like this. Alright, there we go.
Okay, now you have a seal in your top.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, so here we go. We've got a little string on the end. Final stages would be these clippers right here. I'm gonna actually add more onto this, so I don't want to clip it all off. But you would go in and I would be like right here and squeeze it, right? And it'll cut the ends off to where you can then, you know, you'll have your end. So I always leave a little bit on the end. If you want to, you can always seal it with Mod Podge or something like that, just to make sure if your tension's not off that it'll stay together. And then you would come in and trim it, you know, however you want. You can also spread it out more. So if you're finding like, oh look, this guy's sticking out a little bit, you know, then kind of go through and kind of spread the pieces of tassel out, and then you'll want to trim it to whatever size you want. So hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Sorry I'm late. I forgot where I was going. And then
No,
had
it's
to, like,
okay.
do the
We'll
whole
squeeze you
circle
in. Yeah. So are there any questions so far? Okay. Who thinks they would like to be? We'll probably do maybe. How many? Are people willing to share chairs too if needed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can run and get
Okay.
my stool.